What's going on, everybody at Soundbitenation? James here. We apologize for missing the last couple weeks, but we are back now. This week we're going to go over some injury pickups that you need to think about, one or two dark horse sleepers, and then one or two players that you probably should have already picked up last week due to injuries, but in case you haven't, and they might still be available in some leagues. I don't know how, but we'll get there. Marshall Hardesty is the backup for Beanie Wells. Beanie Wells has injured himself again. So Marshall Hardesty is going to get the start this week. He's going to probably take 90% of the carries. Definitely pick him up if he's available in your league. And then another kid by the name of Kendall Hunter from San Francisco. Kendall Hunter had a huge preseason, and with Frank Gore re-injuring himself, Kendall Hunter's probably going to be solid for you this week and maybe even next week. Nate Washington. If you had Kenny Britt, you already know Nate Washington, or at least you should, because you should have picked him up. You're desperately looking for a wide receiver to replace Kenny Britt, and Nate Washington is probably your only option because Victor Cruz is gone. Let's just face it, Victor Cruz is already gone. If he's not in your league, stop the video right now and then go get Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz is the third wide receiver over there for the Giants, and he's got nothing but an upswing. With all the other wide receivers going down this year, you know that somebody else over there in New York is going to go down, and then Victor Cruz is going to step up like he already has for like the last 3 weeks. Another kid that I'm really afraid of this week because the Cowboys are playing the Detroit Lions. Titus Young. Titus Young is the second wide receiver over there in Detroit, and Detroit is 3-0. They're probably going to make the playoffs. They're going against the Cowboys this weekend. Mike Jenkins can't stay healthy. Terrence Newman just came back last week, had a decent game, not a great game. But Titus Young, I think, probably going to get 1 to 2 touchdowns this week, and I'm afraid of that kid, so I'm going to try to get him in my league. My last two guys that you may want to look at, do your research on them. They're a little bit longer, long shots, if you will. The first one is Bernard Scott. Bernard Scott's probably going to get the bulk of the carries, not this week, but in the next 3 to 4 weeks. He's the backup in Cincinnati, and if the suspension of the starter goes through, well, Bernard Scott's going to get a lot of carries for about 4 to 5 weeks. My final guy this week is Stephen Ridley. Stephen Ridley is the running back, another running back up in New England. We all know that you can't trust a running back in New England. However, Stephen Ridley, I think, is going to start to see a bulk of carries up there. Bill Belichick doesn't allow people to fail him, and so he'll keep rotating in players and backs to find somebody who's going to be able to run the damn ball up there. Stephen Ridley's next in line, in my humble opinion. So that's really the Soundbite Nation picks of the week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Listen to us every week on Smodcast, 7:30 p.m. following Netheads. Again, I'm James. You can follow me on Twitter at JimsSail. It's JimzSail. You can follow my buddy Jess over at Twitter. His handle is at Ochoa_Jess, Jess. You can always email the show. Email Dan at soundbitenation@gmail.com. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully the DomiNATEor will be back next week. If not, Jess or I will be filling it again. Thank you very much, folks.